ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe. Sometimes.
Tell me about this. I want to know more.
Oh, yeah. No.
Holy cow.
We've had a lot of fun.
So, Nicole, I'm sorry that we're interrupting your breakfast.
I know.
Is the raisin bread toasted or is it plain? I need to know what you're eating here. I love
It's
raisin bread.
lightly toasted.
Butter, jam?
So butter, lots, copious amounts of butter. And only one slice.
Only one slice?
One
but all the
slice.
butter you want. This is the
That's the way it
the
works.
condiment diet. You can only have one small foodstuff, but you can put whatever you want on it.
Exactly. And then I
I could go for
usually
that.
give a piece of it to my dog. So she's sitting here,
Oh,
waiting.
I have heard recently that raisins are bad for dogs.
Well, she just ate a whole box of crayons, so it couldn't be any worse than that.
I always do wonder when they say these things are bad for dogs. I think of the things that my dog has eaten off the street and been perfectly fine.
Right.
Mhm.
Rotten pieces of food and things that probably are not food, but she eats them anyway.
And
Yeah.
so licking
Really-
water from puddles that God knows what's in that puddle. Yeah.
Seriously.
think
Or,
there
hey,
was-
what about that AstroTurf that's going in behind your house?
Oh, yes. Well, I don't think that dogs will be allowed. That field, that used to be a field people would let their dogs run on because the gate was kind of broken and people could get in. And then you could just let your dog off the leash and they would run around. But I have to be pretty sure they are putting in quite the fence around the turf field.
Wow.
So I think it will have a sturdy lock on it and there will be no more dogs
That's it.
or Canadian geese or probably
know.
just general high school students.
The geese can
So-
fly in now.
I think they are not. One of the reasons I think they're turfing everything is the thought that the geese will not be so much interested in it if it is old tires and plastic grass.
Gotcha.
We shall see.
Well,
They look like they may just thumb their wings at us and land on it anyway.
Well, is this a good time to say hello and welcome to Parenting Roundabout?
As good a time as any.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Parenting Roundabout, a weekly podcast about the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now. I'm Catherine Haleko, and no AstroTurf in my backyard so far. With me today are Nicole Erdix.
Hello, and I've finished my raisin bread, and now I'm ready to podcast.
And also Terry Morrow.
Now I want a piece of raisin bread, toast with butter.
It
Y'all
sounds
wait
Lots
for
of butter.
while I run to the supermarket and get a loaf, right?
So today on the podcast, we're going to confess our control freak tendencies, like the
Us?
exact amount of butter that belongs on a piece of raisin bread. We're going to dig into what we're complaining about right now, shout out some stuff we like on the Roundabout Roundup, and we'll hear an interview with Amanda and John about traveling without kids. But first, we'll just make sure we know what's new with everybody. Besides the raisin bread and the dog eating a box of crayons.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow, that's going to be colorful for a little while.
That'll keep us entertained. Well, guess which
Mike-
color it was.
My kindergarten boyfriend used to eat crayons.
Oh.
Good memory.
We all have our vices.
Yeah.
My daughter said, Mom, they're like for kids. They got to be, safe.
Right. Non-toxic. Yeah.
Is it have a little warning label, do not feed to your dog
Yeah, right.
On the
That's
box
what
of
we need now.
crayons.
and
But
everything.
in all fairness, we did leave her alone for quite a long time in her room, in her
That
locked
sounds,
room.
that sounds like what the doggy defense attorney says.
Yeah.
My client was left alone with a box of crayons.
What did you
Clearly it's
expect her to
negligence.
do?
Yeah. Well, she got into a lot of mischief that day because she also ate some of the wall. So how that happened.
Are you feeding this animal
No,
other than raisin bread toast?
she was a well-fed animal, and we left water, and I even left one of those round toys that you can stick treats in, so that they'll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Uh-huh.
apparently that didn't take her hours to get out because she found time to eat crayons and a wall. So
And a wall. That is determined.
Oh,
you like got a
delicious.
wall. You're bored when you look at a wall and go, "Oh, yum."
We had a dog once that was like too clever for her own good, and she figured out how to get at a box of chocolates we had, and she ate the box of chocolates, all of them, and as has often happened, she got the repercussions of being too smart for your own good, which is that small dogs should not eat an entire box of chocolates.
No dog should eat chocolate at all.
Exactly. Yes. Well, she learned that lesson too late for her and for us.
For you guys, more so. So she was just fine.
Oh.
Yeah, you're the one who had to clean it up.
She ate eyeshadow from under the Christmas tree one time too. Dogs are not picky eaters. When it comes to their diet, one might say they are not control freaks.
Although mine refuses to eat vegetables, so I guess in a way she's a lot like me too.
That's true. We had a dog that ate carrots, and our current dog looks at that and says, "That is not food. Take that away."
No.
So I guess
I have one. I have one that loves vegetables.
Really?
He loves them. He will stand up on his hind legs and jump up and down if you wave a piece of lettuce over him.
Wow.
And then the other one will eat them just because the first one has them, but then she'll go around the corner and spit them out. So, like a small child.
Yeah. Well, my dog enjoys eating orange sections, but it's like every time I give one to her, she has to relearn how to eat it. It's like, I know there's food here. I'm not sure how to get to it.
Get to it.
I have to bite down just hard enough to get the juice out, and then I remember, oh yeah, this tastes good. So it's a constant learning experience for her.
Yeah.
Cute.
But segueing back to our topic about control freaks, today we are going to talk about controlling your inner control freak, or in our case, not so much. This grew out of a little Facebook chat that Catherine and I were having yesterday, in which she was seeking support in not going and reloading the dishwasher after somebody else had loaded it, trying valiantly to overcome the pressing need to make it right. And I shared that.
Really bad.
My husband also has very, very strict and specific ways in which a dishwasher must be loaded, in which in 26 years of marriage, I have not been able to crack the code, because even though I think I'm doing it right, he always rearranges it. So, which in my book frees me from the need to ever do dishes, because clearly
can't do it
this
right.
is something you want to do, sweetheart. So I will pile the dishes in the sink all day, and when you get home from a long day of work, you can do them. But even so, that is about his only control freaky thing. I control freak everything else. So dishwashing is not your only control freak segment of the household work, Catherine. Is that correct?
No, it's not. I also have, as I've confessed here before, my controlling need to do the laundry. But see, now this is why. It just bothers me when things are done inefficiently. You know, when you throw the dishes in the dishwasher all willy-nilly, then you can't put enough stuff in. And when you just decide that you're going to wash, you know, one pair of jeans and 3 pairs of socks and a towel, like, while there's other stuff in the hamper, that is not efficient, and that annoys me.
You're conserving water is what you're doing.
This is about efficiency.
Exactly. And so my question to you is that a good reason? Is that a legitimate reason to be a control freak? Or am I just a big fat rationalizer?
The question comes up, and this is one I have no good answer to, and I control freak out on things also, is it's good for people to learn how to do it right, and oftentimes they can only learn how to do it right by doing it wrong a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. So theoretically, you should let them keep doing it wrong and figure it out for themselves, except people are slow. And they don't pick it up after 1 or 2 times, even when you hint strongly or explain why it is you are control freaking. They just keep doing it the way they want to do it, and that gets frustrating. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like when I do it for people because I want it to be done the way I want it to be done, then they never learn, and that's bad. Right. And yet it drives me crazy. So That is not helpful in any way to your question. What do you do, Nicole? Do you let people do things incorrectly and learn, or do you just take it and say, never mind, go sit down?
Holy, that's a really big question. Um,
That
it
is.
really just depends on what it is, what I'm willing to let go, what I'm not.
Still looking for the thing.
Yeah.
Dishwashing, apparently I can let go.
I mean, there's some things, okay, like my daughter making her bed. So I grew up with a mother who was totally a control freak about my bed. And I had
Yeah.
to make my bed every morning before I left the house, and it had to be all, four corners tucked in and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so my daughter and my son, I haven't really cared much about what it looks like as long as they at least leave their room in some kind of, I don't know. If there was an emergency, we could find them.
I think
So,
as Velcro shoes have done for tying your shoes, comforters have done for making your bed.
yes.
Because it used to be when you had the more fitted bedspread, you really had to get everything nice and flat. Now you really
Yeah.
can if you just put the comforter on right, it really doesn't matter what the sheets are doing. Nobody can see them. I
Exactly.
support that.
And that's
For
kind of
myself
what I've
as
been
well as my
okay.
family.
I've been okay with things like that, but there's no rhyme or reason. That's the thing, right? Like Catherine with
Yeah.
your dishwasher and your laundry. Is it about water, or is it there just no rhyme or reason as to why it's those things that really bug you and you have to control? So, like, I can't figure out what it is with me.
Catherine enjoys efficiency.
Right, because there's other things too, like if I can't stand, doing one errand, like I will have to come up with, a group of a
Yeah.
batch of things to do, or even just driving somewhere in the car. Like I hate just going somewhere to do one thing. Like, let's also go here and do this and pick up that, and
Oh, no.
I need like a purpose.
Yeah.
Before I'm gonna go do something. And I have, like when I'm getting ready for bed at night, there's a specific order.
Wow, Catherine.
Because again, like you have to, you got to floss before you brush, and then you got to wash your face, and then you got to kind of let it dry before you put on the lotion. All that, there's a reason behind it.
I'm feeling way better about myself as a result of this
I was
conversation.
Oh.
I think I used to be more that way, and as I've gotten older and more likely to just like fall asleep on the couch, all my evening routine has just gone out the window. We generally fall asleep and then we like wake up my daughter in the middle of the night to say prayers with her.
Right.
When we realize my son hasn't gone to bed yet, and the whole routine has gone out the window. And I know I used to be like that with errands, and I've let a lot of stuff go. The control freak area I have trouble with is, kind of my kids' lives and what they do with them. And I don't know if this is just a natural parent thing or if it's a special needs parents thing, because you spend years and years sitting in IEP meetings, planning out the next year of your kid's life, fighting for certain elements, and feeling like then through the entire year you have to stay on top of it. You have to make sure all those things happen. You have to look for things that need to change. And so it becomes a job, and that's your checklist of things. And then, now that my kids are young adults, I still want to control things that much. And it's not appropriate. It's not really even possible. But it's a hard habit to get out of. Their dishwashers are really messy. Metaphorical dishwashers. So that's an area where I can see that I need to let go, and it's really difficult.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that with your kids too? Do you feel like, or are you able to let go and let them do what they want to do?
Oh, no.
Other than not over and above dishes and laundry. It's that madness to let them do what they want to do.
No, I think I have a lot of, I don't know, I feel like I'm not a helicopter parent, but I hover and guide. I feel like my kids do need direction for a lot of things. Particularly, okay, this is one little thing that irks me so much, and I have to be control freak about is their table manners. So I am so controlling about that stuff. If you're slurping, sipping, hunched over, using your phone, eating with your mouth open, that's it. I lose it.
It's a good thing that we're never going to have lunch together, Nicole. Did Amanda pass the test when you guys had your in real life meeting?
Oh yeah, no, it's just my kids. It's not anybody else.
Oh, it's not anybody else?
I don't pass judgment on anybody else.
But when you see other kids having bad manners, you kind of laugh slightly under your breath and pat your back, right?
Nope. I just look at my own kids and I think, what on earth are you doing? No rhyme or reason. I don't know why.
My husband is the same way. Like,
is he?
Yeah, he.
Okay, better.
Because my son at age 11 will still sometimes eat with his fingers.
Oh, that's a boy thing. I don't know.
My son at age 23.
Oh, my son's atrocious. He's terrible.
All right. Well, that'll make my husband feel better if he knows that all these other kids. Yeah, he fork. Yes. Just use your fork. Oh.
Yeah.
But do you guys have good reasons for your kids to have table manners? I mean, how do you justify it? Is it just, this is how it's supposed to be, do it? I mean, we always do this, someday you will be in a job interview or you will have a meal and you will have to, because I know I did. I had to go out to dinner when I had a job interview once and I was nervous about my manners. Or one day you will be at a friend's house and their mother will judge you harshly, because I remember not wanting to eat the Brussels sprouts at my friend's house and, wishing that I had learned to eat them anyway. So, but they kind of look at me like, no, they won't. That won't happen. And I don't really care. That is many years in the future. I don't want to eat the Brussels sprouts right now.
Right.
So, what do you use what does your husband use as his justification, Catherine? And what do you use, Nicole?
My husband doesn't. He's just like, that's gross. He's just, it just really bugs him and he's just like, stop it. So he doesn't really even try. And for me, I might sometimes say, when you're not at home, I don't want you to be eating like that, when other people can see you. So please familiarize yourself with a fork.
True. Is that the approach you use, Nicole?
Yeah, I have to say though, I'm very much, I don't know if it's like the British influence in Canadian culture, but there's a little bit of an emphasis on table etiquette. And so it's kind of, I don't know, with my kids, it's like, okay, well, you have to learn this because that's just what we do.
It's what civilized people do.
And then I go to the whole job thing and the friend thing and the girlfriend thing and the, nobody's going to want to eat with you out in public and you're not going to get a girlfriend if you eat like that.
I have tried most of those and they have not been successful. I just get the look.
No, I don't. And you know what? I'm not overly successful either because I see my son eating out with his girlfriend and it's appalling. And I'm like, I did not raise you that way.
And you need to enlist her. Like, can you please tell him that you're not going to eat out with him unless
but she knows too. Like she sends me these memes every once in a while. It's like a Cookie Monster with crumbs everywhere. And
she needs to send them to him.
She does.
Okay.
We all bug him.
Okay, good. So. I hate when people approach me about things that I need to tell my kids. Tell them directly. They don't want to hear it from me.
Yeah. Well, Terry, you brought up a complaint just then. So now I am going to move us to our next segment, which is our speed round. Where Amanda joined us to discuss one important component of our tagline. Our tagline being the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now.
We're the podcast about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. recently we did a speed round about the things we're obsessing about. So today we thought we'd ask, what are you complaining about right now? I know for me personally, right now in my head, I'm ranting about the fact that my daughter and husband cannot seem to function without me. As I try and get through this little podcast, I have text messages and phone calls. My phone is just going off the hook here because my daughter is in the middle of picking up her schedule for high school.
Oh.
And of course, the counselor gave her the wrong classes. And she doesn't know what to do, so she's phoning me. My husband doesn't know what to do, so he's phoning me. And I'm like, just use your brain, people. Go in and see her.
Talk to somebody.
You go in. So, yeah. And plus, I saw Bad Moms over the weekend, that movie. So I'm feeling very, randish about all the things that we moms take on. And,
Yeah. That is well worth complaining about. Well worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling here. I really want to throw my phone out the window right now. It's going to be a crash.
Yeah.
I'm done. So, how are you feeling, Catherine? What are you complaining about right now?
Well, we talked about this a little bit, I think, off the air, but insurance, hello?
Yes.
We have this bill right now that is just stupid, and my husband is supposed to be calling about it because it was his thing, and right. And we keep getting bills, and I'm like, do we have to just pay this, or can we argue it, or what is the deal? And yes, we're very lucky to have insurance, but boy, has it changed. I mean, compared to just a few years ago, the coverage we have has dropped so much, and we're responsible for so much more of it, and it's annoying.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
once we can all join
Amanda, what's on your
Oh my gosh, so many things right now. So many things. Actually, I'm sort of with Catherine. We did have that offline conversation and I've been complaining about insurance all week. Our insurance premiums went up, which is, my employer is very generous with how they chip into insurance. But I can't quite figure out how I'm making less money now, and it's because I have more insurance, but it's the same insurance, but my co-pays are higher or something, and I'm just freaking out a little bit about that. So I'm complaining about that, and then I'm also complaining about how hard it is to be a parent to an adult child, because they still want you to be a parent, but you can't do anything for them because they really need to do it themselves because they are literally an adult and you literally can't do it for them. So I'm complaining. I know. I'm complaining about that. And I really, am complaining about the fact that I have to get up early and travel, except the good side of that is I get to see Nicole. I get to meet Nicole in person. So when you are listening to this, I will probably be having dinner with Nicole, but then I'm complaining about the fact that I have to pay for it. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. That I am not.
We await proof that Nicole is actually a living human being and not just an algorithm of some sort.
I will provide proof, and she gets a photo approval though. So
put it on our Instagram.
Yes.
Great.
My goodness.
Terry, how about you? What's on your list?
Yeah, well, this seems silly in comparison to everybody else's complaints, but our town is in the midst of what is apparently an ongoing project to cover every bit of green living grass with AstroTurf. And
that's
the project is a soccer field to the side of the high school that I live next door to. And every time we go for a walk around the high school, as we do, something new has happened there. Some tree has been cut down. Now they leveled off the field, so all the grass is gone. Then they started building. There used to be a little sloping hill at the edge of the field. They cut that hill right out, and they built this wall. And every time we walk around the high school, the wall is a little higher. So now it's it's at the height of the field, and I'm thinking, they're going to put a fence around that, right? Because otherwise some kid is going to go in for a kick, run a little too far, and fall off the wall. It's like my tax dollars at work here, and the grass was so pretty and the trees were so nice. And
Yeah.
the hill was one, little kids went sledding on because it was very gentle. And I am just feeling like shaking my cane at the whole thing and saying, progress, you stop. That's what I
As
all I think about is the chemicals that leach into the ground.
I know.
Yes, plus which it's awful. And why are we making all our young people play on something that when you fall feels like a cement block?
Well,
So-
and some people think that it gives them cancer. I mean,
Yes.
it's really can
Well,
be, I don't know.
Which goes back to insurance. I'm telling you.
yeah, there you go. The fix is in. It's like I was talking about on some other episode that I believe everything is a fix. So in this case, much talk about why it is we're suddenly turfing everything and who's
Or
benefiting from this.
as my husband says, that's how they get you. That's his
Yep.
catchphrase. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. That's how they're getting them in our town right now.
And you know what, Amanda? I thought of you the other day when I was driving for 22 hours over 2 days.
Gosh.
I got a touch of the road rage.
Did you?
Let me tell you, the state of Indiana, people do not seem to understand the passing lane. Like,
Oh no.
get
Same
move
way.
over. I was so mad. Oh my god.
I was driving.
I was
no,
complaining about that at the
no,
time.
that's worth complaining about. Or you know what else is worth complaining about? The people who try and pass you in the non-passing lane.
Oh yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so
This is a topic for a whole nother speed round.
Seriously. And I'm thinking, ladies, what are you complaining about? You are in California with like 16-lane freeways. People are passing you on the left, the right, the middle.
I know.
They're driving over the top of your car.
I was just gonna say that they're driving over you. They're driving through you.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
So I guess there's no short answer to what we're complaining about right now.
I think this could go on.
I think it shouldn't. I think we're done. Should we be done? Should we be?
Yes.
Yeah, let's be done. Okay.
And remember, you can hear a new speed round every Monday through Thursday, and Amanda's on all of them. And we don't ever complain about hearing from Amanda.
Never, never.
Just to clarify. And now we want to bring you some of the things that we've read or seen or used recently that we want to shout out and share with you. And I know just yesterday with all the Olympics going on and all the coverage and fun things that are online, I just saw this really cute clip of parents of a gymnast. I don't know if you
Oh, yes.
Yes, we talked about this on round 2 also.
Did
Yes.
you? And how nervous they were and how into their daughter's routine they were. And
Yes.
I just want to give a shout out to those parents for being, not being, I don't know, just really supporting their daughter, obviously, and caring. And yeah, that's kind of
We invite them to join us in a dark room afterwards with a rag over their eyes.
yeah, because clearly they need it.
Oh dear.
How they manage their stress.
That's right.
So I'm just giving a shout out this week.
Yes.
So go parents. We put a lot of time and energy into our kids, and
Yes.
it's nerve wracking. And yeah. So anyway, Terry, how about you? What are you?
Well, I usually try to find something parenting related for this, but one thing the parents need is a way to blow off stress and just relax. And I have to say, something that brought me a lot of pleasure and stress relief in the last few days has been Lin-Manuel Miranda taking over the Disney Animation Instagram and using his time there to just sing Disney songs randomly. It was so
It was
adorable.
awesome.
And just made me very, very happy that day. And then I have gone back and looked at it. You don't have to be a member of Instagram to watch it. I will have the link that you can go straight there. And just every now and then during the day when you're feeling low, just go watch him singing Gaston with the Rock and singing, the new theme to Moana, and just very random snippets of Disney songs. And it will put a smile on your face.
Sounds good.
Agree. Co-sign.
Yes.
How about you, Catherine? What have you got for us?
Well, I know a couple weeks ago I mentioned that there was a new Harry Potter book that had come out, and we have it. We haven't read it yet because my son is still reading the original series, so we haven't got to that yet. But I wanted to mention Pottermore.com, which is the official J.K. Rowling website associated with Harry Potter, because if you need any encouragement for your kids to read, and they're into Harry Potter, it has so much content, and it's mostly just reading. There's not a lot of games and stuff. It's mostly articles and like fun little listicles and things like that. So, I mean, we sat and spent a lot of time just reading on there. So
That's cool.
I would recommend that if you're looking for some reading encouragement for your kids.
For those who have kids who enjoy reading, of whom I am jealous.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, that's what I mean. Like, my son is a better reader than my daughter, but he still would rather watch a YouTube video any day than read a book. But he was willing to sit and read this for quite a while. So, and even if you haven't finished the whole series, which we have not, you will be able to enjoy the stuff on Pottermore.com.
Okay, well, that sounds like fun. And now we come to the segment of our episode in which we have an interview every week. This week, we record some of these interviews ahead of time, and we put them in a folder on our very organized little Dropbox file. And then in some cases, apparently we forget about them because we recently unearthed an episode recorded quite some time ago by Amanda and her husband, John, who produces our podcast, about traveling without kids. And the idea of traveling without kids is just so appealing that we are going to go ahead and run this interview. If there are any dated references in it, you will understand that it has been sitting around for a while, but it was worth the wait. So let's listen now to Amanda and John talking about the wonderful sounding prospect of traveling without kids.
Hi there, this is Amanda. I'm here with John Morin, who is our audio engineer and also my partner in child raising and in life. We recently had the opportunity to travel without our kids, and our listeners have probably heard me talk over and over and over about this recently, about how we went to Disney World without our children. And the reason I keep talking about it is because it was amazing, right, John? I mean, right?
It was everything I wanted it to be and more.
Okay. And we had not traveled like on a fairly decently long vacation without our kids, and definitely not on an airplane or to a warmer climate or anything without our kids.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. And so we thought we'd talk today, and it's not a whole lot of information to talk about, but we did find it was really different. It was traveling without kids. Really has its advantages. Do you want to sort of talk about what you thought were some of those advantages, John?
Sure. Yeah. Well, for one thing, something that I had trouble getting used to was packing for two people.
Yeah, it's like making dinner for two people. How do you do it, right?
We've traveled many, many times with the kids. Yeah, exactly. It's like cooking for two people when you're used to cooking for six,
Yeah.
So we've traveled many times with the kids, and we know how to do this. We're used to having to, pack our luggage, and it was especially like the backpack that we carried on the airplane and in the parks.
Right, there were not gummy snacks all the way through it, or
right, yeah, and we didn't have to have like the wet wipes just like really handy, or the
Matchbox cars, and
yeah, or the ear protectors for the little one.
Yeah.
So it's like I remember we were on the plane, and I kind of had this instinct of like, okay, are the things that I need for the kids like right away, like right on top? Is the tablet on top? Are the headphones right on top? Is the the tissues and the crayons and everything, are they accessible? And I kind of sat down with my book and my iPad and went, oh, this is all I need.
Well, actually, to be truthful, what you did is you sat down with your book and your iPad and fell asleep on the plane. But,
Well, true, yeah.
Which I think is also the advantage of traveling without kids, is you can do that. Yeah. For me, I found security was like a totally different thing. So I travel a lot for work, and I have my security routine down. Like, I've got it down to a science, and I know that was actually kind of hard on you. And I know it's hard on the kids when we travel too, because I have this you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do this. And I couldn't get out of that mindset. I couldn't get out of the work mindset and I have kids in tow that I have to make sure I'm keeping track of. But it was easier, right? I mean, it was so much.
It was easier, yeah. And it's kind of, you get through security and you're kind of used to, making sure you've got everybody right there. And, after you've, you know, how did you put it the other day? Recombobulated yourself?
Yes, and that's Catherine's. Catherine's local airport has what's called a recombobulation area. And I keep trying to get Catherine to post a picture of that. So we'll see if we can get Catherine to show us the recombobulation area. And recombobulating, which, if that's a word, that's amazing, was so much easier. It was
yeah.
I feel like when we travel with kids, I'm constantly discombobulated. I mean, just no matter what, I'm discombobulated. And this trip did not have that. And I feel guilty saying that. Do you feel guilty? Do you not?
I feel like I should.
You feel like you should feel guilty. Yeah. Yeah. And, and talk to me. So I know this, but like, the idea of going, so Disney is a really high-powered vacation, right? So when you take kids, you're always trying to make sure, what do they want to do? Are you getting there? Are you doing this? Are you running between parks? Are you, like all of these kind of things. But for us, this was just, how would you put it, John? Like we just, I don't know.
It was a balance between doing things that we wanted to do that we usually don't get a chance to.
Yeah.
And kind of doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's like we were in the parks, but we didn't feel like we needed to get to this or get to that. And, if we wanted to stop and shop for an hour, like, which would have been impossible with the kids, it'd be, like, when are we leaving this place?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was great because we could just, stop and have a snack or just stop and just sit or shop or just, take things as they go, and we didn't feel the need to be, to one area or to another area, like right just now,
Right just now. Yeah, definitely. Right just now.
So it was kind of like, we had the freedom to do what we wanted to do, but we didn't really have to do anything, and we could just take it at a grown-up's pace. And that was like really, really different.
Yeah, it was. One of the things that I noticed is I was really hyper aware of other people's families and how they were interacting with their kids.
Yeah.
Because, when you go places with your own kids, you've got this, like, you feel like everybody's watching you. And of course, we have kids with special needs, so sometimes they are. I mean, sometimes everybody is watching us.
Yeah.
But I always feel like, am I doing this right? Am I not? Am I too loud? Am I, and I worry that everybody's sort of watching and paying attention. And what I realized is everybody's like that. Like, without us having our kids with us, I was able to see that other people's families are sort of just like ours, that the parents have that same, like, is everybody paying attention to what I'm doing? How do I handle this? How do I take this kid this place and this kid this place? And I was hyper aware of the fact that we don't look as different as I think we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was too, I think. And, I noticed things like, when I go into a restroom, and like watching, some fathers in there, like dragging one and sometimes two kids in there with them and like trying to wrangle everybody and make sure everybody is, washing their hands and all that. And I thought, well, usually that's
us.
That's us, and it's weird to see, to not be there with your kids, but see, oh yeah, other people do it just like that too.
What's really interesting too is, that like that smile you do, that sort of like, I gotcha smile you do with other parents when you've got your kids. When you do it and you don't have your kids with you, it's just kind of creepy. Like it comes across as
right. Yeah.
It comes across as like you have no, we had our, it was our 10th wedding anniversary and we had the Disney pins on that said happy anniversary. And I wondered how often people were like, oh, look at you cute people, you don't have kids yet. Like I wondered that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, no. We got 3 of them. Believe me, we got you. We totally understand. I kind of felt like I needed to keep explaining myself to people. Like, no, we left our kids behind. No. But it, it was really interesting to me to see sort of other families going through some of the same struggles that we do when we travel. And it made me feel better. Re-entry was really difficult though, I gotta say. That was
coming back down to real life was
oof.
a
Man.
drag.
It was a drag. But the interesting thing is that what I learned from this, and and I think this is sort of like a final takeaway for people who are listening, is two things. The first is I never want to travel with our kids again, which is not fair and totally ridiculous, right? Like anywhere we go, we have to be able to drive to do it, I think.
Yeah.
And that I think it's something that people really need to do. Like it's really hard to come up with a babysitter. It's really hard to come up with, a plan for where your kids are. And it's really hard to leave your kids behind because they're so far away that if something happened, you have to find a way to get back to them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really, for us, it was really, really, really needed. Like, I think it was something that if you can do it, even if it's just for a night or two, I would totally recommend that.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, we remembered how much fun we have with each other and that we're people outside of being parents. And so that was a joy. That was really, to me.
Yeah. It kind of seems like sometimes in day-to-day life, it kind of seems like, our lives revolve around our kids. And it was nice to have our lives revolve around us for a little while.
Us. Yeah. So the takeaways here are, we're never traveling with our kids again. And definitely take the time to go away without your kids if you can. And if you can't, we're really sorry that we made you feel jealous. So those are our takeaways for today. It's always a joy talking to you, John, when I don't have to talk to you about kid stuff. So thanks for joining me today.
All right.
And again, we're always finding ways to insert Amanda into the podcast, even though she can no longer sit and chat with us.
Right. We love being able to hear from her and from John.
We do.
It's always fun.
And from John, yes, absolutely. Stepping out from behind the computer or whatever it is he uses to put these together into something that is audible.
Something magical. I don't know.
I believe so. Thank goodness.
So for our final segment today, we're going to do a little shameless self-promotion, as we like to do, and direct you to some things on our sites that we think you should take a look at. So Nicole, what do you have for us today?
Well, on Sunday, in my other life, as a blogger under the name The Inclusive Class, I presented a webinar for parents and teachers. And there were four people that I brought together who are all experienced with inclusive education, and we just kind of spat out strategies and tips for teaching kids of different abilities in the classroom. So it was a fun webinar and lots of great information for both parents and teachers as the school year approaches.
Yes,
so
it does.
stuff to keep in mind.
Awesome.
Okay, we will have a link for that on our website at parentingroundabout.com.
And how about you, Terry? What do you want to mention today?
Yeah, well, with back to school coming, I have a little checklist on my blog, Parenting Isn't Pretty, at mamatude.blogspot.com, about the special things that parents of kids with special needs and parents of kids with special education have to remember to check off before a new school year starts. We have some additional concerns over and above notebooks and backpacks. So.
Great. And I'm going to mention something on Very Well that I had posted recently, active games for family game night. So ways that you can have a family game night that's not sitting in a chair game night. So that's on Very Well.
Okay.
Great. Well, I think that finishes up this podcast for today, and that is this week's episode of Parenting Roundabout. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us every week. You can listen to podcast episodes on parentingroundabout.com or download it from iTunes. Please subscribe so you get all our podcasts and mini podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter, where I am Nicole Erdix. Terry is at Mamatude. Catherine is at About Family Fit. And Amanda is at Amanda Morin. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at Roundabout Chat. And look for us on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, and Instagram as well. Best of all, stop by our blog at parentingroundabout.com and read recaps, find links on all the stories we mentioned, and talk back in the comments. Thanks to John Morin for producing the podcast and providing our in and out music, and I wish everyone a great week.